Okay, so this is video 1 of my electronics tutorials for Scildburg. And we're going to start with just basic, which is the resistor. Try not to get in my light here. And if you can see this, I have my camera on manual focus, so if I get it closer it's not going to focus anyway. So, but as you can see here, hopefully it has 3 red bands on the front and a gold band in the back. The first red band represents a 2, the next red band represents a 2, and the third red band represents the multiplier, which in this case, red for the multiplier represents 100. So we have 22 times 100. That means this is a 2.2k ohm resistor. And as far as the gold goes, it means it is a 5% tolerance resistor. So basically it will be 2.2k ohms, either 5%, either 2.2k ohms or 5% above or below, and that's how that works. So now, just to show you how the resistor works, we're going to place it in our breadboard here, and we're going to get our trusty multimeter. If you don't have a multimeter, I would say get one, because if you're going to do electronics, you at least have to have a multimeter. I just don't think there's any way to get around it. So I have a 9-volt wall adapter right here already plugged in, and this is just a little, I took one of my wall adapter plugs that I use for my projects, and I just put it on a cheap prototype board, just a cheap Chinese prototyping board that I cut up to make it smaller. And so as you can see, I have the connector here for the wall adapter, and I just basically wired it to 2 connecting pins. Of course, you can buy these pins. They come in a row of, I believe, 40, and you can break them off as you need, and they're already spaced to the size of a breadboard or a prototyping board, just like most components are. So what we're going to do with this is, I guess I'll put it on this side here because it's closer to the wall adapter. Let's see. I have to put it on this side because this is positive and this is negative. So I am going to put the 2 pins where they go, the one in positive, the one in the other in negative. I'm just going to put them in there like that. And now this whole rail here is positive and this whole rail here is negative. And we'll plug it in. Wait a little bit, but we'll just turn it. So here is our resistor, and what we're going to do now is just make a circuit. Won't even need to make a circuit. We're just going to put these here. So we have the red one in the positive rail, the white one in the negative rail, and we're just going to take a reading. So we're going to turn our multimeter to DC, and we're just going to put it at 20 because that'll give us plenty of, if we put it at 2, then will be over 2. So I'll put it at 20, because that way we won't get any decimal points and we'll just be basically at where it's supposed to be. Okay, so it's on. We're going to take our red tester, put it on the red one, and our white tester, or black tester, and put it on the white one. And as you can see, if I can hold this, I don't have clamps on this multimeter, but as you can see, we're getting 8.98, so basically 9 volts. So there's that. Now what we're going to do is we're going to plug this into our resistor. As you can see, this part in the middle, this is cut off from everything, sort of divides the board. So if I put, so everything I would put on this line would be touching everything else that's in this line, but not if it goes past the middle. So everything in this line will touch this line, everything, then it stops here, and then everything here will touch this line. So a lot of times you can put components in the middle, spread or straddle them across the middle, so one end doesn't touch the other, isn't connected to the other end. So we will put our positive on this end of the resistor, and we will put our negative on this end of the resistor. And then we are just going to put another wire going into the negative, because this is still going to be positive, because the positive is coming through, going through the resistor up through here. This is positive. We need to complete the circuit, so we are going to put our red tester on this, which is still positive, and we're going to touch this tester, which is now negative. And as you can see, it is now 8.93 volts. Not a huge difference, but a difference nonetheless. And we can test this again to make sure we get the same thing. We'll test without the resistor again, and we are getting if I can get these to stay. I really need to get some clamps for these, for this. I don't know why I haven't. I guess I'm a glutton. And again, you can't see it, but we're getting 8.98. And we put it back through the resistor. And now we are getting 8.92, 8.93, 8.92. And so there is that. So that is a resistor and how it works. So it's a very basic tutorial. It's supposed to be. We'll be getting more in depth later, but for now, that's the resistor.